sideways.
Yo.
So I can call you
Okay. You want a clap again? So our whole point of doing this is just to talk about life, talk about business, talk about making money, talk about being an entrepreneur, what it's going to take, giving our own experiences.
full-time baller. It's not entrepreneur, it's full-time baller. This entrepreneur shit's useless.
So we're going to have conversations. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've been up to, what we've been doing, and and we'll get a lot of value from it, I'm sure. So why don't we kick things off and maybe have a little chat about entrepreneurism as a whole? You know, what does that actually mean, and how can someone start exploring and looking at different opportunities and finding their path in this kind of whole world of business and life?
You know my definition of entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Right? And I'll say it firstly, then I'll explain it, because I'll say it and people will go, what the hell do you mean, right? Being a lifelong entrepreneur, because see if you get into business for a little while, then you leave, you're not an entrepreneur, you're someone who's taking advantage of maybe a small opportunity. Entrepreneurship to me is for life. You're committed, right? Entrepreneurship is a consistent life of dissatisfaction. And wait till what I mean, right? See, when you get the McFadden, a real entrepreneur doesn't go, oh nice, I've got a McFadden, let's slow down. It's right, okay, I've got a McFadden, it's all right. What do I want next? I want an Aventador. They get the Aventador and they enjoy it for a little bit. All right, okay, what's next? Like, it's a life of what's next. If you're a true entrepreneur, you never stop and go, okay, I'm done. Entrepreneurship doesn't finish. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but entrepreneurship doesn't finish. You get something and you go, what's next? I've never got, even now with the roller and all that kind of stuff, ticking off these big things, I've never went, okay, I can slow down now, because I've not got a jet yet. And when I do have a jet, I'll probably get a Honda jet first. And then I want an Embraer, then I want a Gulfstream, then I want a BBJ, then we'll be doing commercial space flight probably, so I want a spaceship. Like, it doesn't end. Being a true entrepreneur, it never finishes. You just keep going, man.
Yeah, totally with you. I mean, there's definitely been times in my life where complacency kicks in, and there's been moments of satisfaction, because complacency is the killer, isn't it? It kind of keeps you where you're at, and
comparison.
Yeah, and you don't go out and fulfill your true potential. So I remember I had a goal in my later 20s. I think it was like 27, 28. Because I went along to a seminar. Where there was an Australian billionaire who came over, and he was talking. It was about a room of about 600 people, and this was in Edinburgh. And at the time, for me, I'd only really started to build a business. Now, I've been in property as a business since the age of 19, went full-time in property at the age of...
the 60s as well, man. That's hard.
I'm never going to get away with that.
Mate, every podcast, I'm going to do something about your age, mate. Every single one.
So started in property at the age of 19, went full-time in property at the age of 24. But when I went full-time in property, and okay, I had a property business, I hadn't really ran it as a business. I was still trying to figure out what is business. So it wasn't until my later 20s that I'd started coming out a lot of money, being wasteful of a lot of that money, building things back up again, and going along to that seminar. And it was about 600 people in the room. And he says, look, put your hand up if you could disappear, from your business for 6 months and the business would still grow and make money. And 2 people's hands went up in that whole room. And that was me sitting there, and that wasn't one of my hands. I'm sitting there going, holy shit, like, what's the difference of living paycheck to paycheck, picking up a salary month to month, when you're running your own business, but you have to be in it. So I went through a phase in my late 20s that I wanted to outsource more. I wanted to actually employ and hire key members of my team as well. And just be in a situation before, the goal was to be before I'm 30, to have outsourced everything, have my business running, so I didn't have to be working in it or not.
You can be whatever you want, or doing anything. Really.
That was the goal. But the problem that came with that is that the good thing is I started traveling the world a little bit, and that was something that I'd always wanted to do, but put off because I was in the grind and building the business. You're
scared to step out. It's taken so long, so much work to get to the bit where you're consistently doing, say, 100k a month, 150k a month. You don't want to step out because you lose that momentum, or you're scared to lose the momentum.
Yeah, I feel we're going to bounce here, which is good. It's great because something you just said there is that because I never came from money and then coming into money, it was almost a scarcity mindset going, I need to keep on working. I need to just work. I need to keep on. I can't enjoy myself. And there's many years in my mid-20s which I never really celebrated my success. I never went on as many holidays as I should have. I never took enough breaks. I never looked after myself physically.
Yeah, you said you let yourself, like, because you're in good shape, mate. You
Yeah.
rap a lot, like, you train a lot. But in the time that I've known you, you were definitely, I mean, we were both far skinnier. Do you know what I mean? You were like, I was a twig and you were skinny. But you've kind of like beefed up a bit now, do you know what I mean? And I think, like, you'd said before that you were almost, I'm not going to say like a fat bastard, but like,
Oh, I'd
yourself
let
go a
myself
bit.
go in a big way, and it's complacency. So to kind of summarize all of this here is like because in my late 20s, I thought, look, I've built my business. I had this whole mindset of let's get the right staff members in, let's outsource stuff,
Yeah.
so that I've got a life to be able to enjoy. So I went in a period of time traveling the world, and one of the places I went to was Costa Rica, which I could never be more grateful for because I met
Boom.
my wife, you know,
Yeah, nice.
and the whole new chapter that then created. But through there was definitely an element of complacency, and this is what I mean here, because as an entrepreneur, it's about working on the next task, it's working on the next level you want to grow to. But I definitely found myself in a period of time where complacency had kicked in and I was coasting. And it took a shake-up for me. It took me to because I remember sitting down and going, look, I'm still a young guy. I'm motivated. I'm driven. But I feel like I'm just wandering a little bit. And some people might feel that the now. And for me, I had an element of success and notoriety with it as well. And people would ask how I'd achieve certain things. But I didn't feel fulfilled.
Nah.
Do you know that way? And I knew that was something inside, like, Paul, you're capable of more. There's definitely more
That's what I'm talking
inside
about,
you.
dissatisfaction. Maybe dissatisfaction's a bad word.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. No, you're right. It is the right word. Because a lot of people would turn and say, Paul, you're being an ungrateful fucking bastard here. Like, look at what you've achieved. Look at where you're living. Look at the stuff that you've got. And you're being ungrateful or you're being dissatisfied. It wasn't that I was being ungrateful, because I always remember my upbringing and the hard times and challenges and things. But it was just at a place of sheer complacency. And you don't need to have money to be complacent. You can be complacent where you're at just now, and a job that you're in just now, because you're dissatisfied with the job, but you just settle.
Aye.
And that's the problem. And it's about, for me, knowing there was something inside that I could be capable of a lot more. And it took me changing my social circles again. So I went along to, some people might have been aware of it or know of Dan Pena.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the $50 billion man.
No, he's now the $1 trillion man.
Is it? Yeah,
He's
that's
the
right. He's a
$1 trillion
$1 trillion man. So with Pena, and I wish this was a joke, but it was true. Like the 8 days at the Castle Seminar in Guthrie Castle, like understand Pena. Pena sold his oil and gas business in the 70s for just under $500 million. That's like almost $2 billion in
I
today's
remember
money.
reading about like how he played that, and it was one of the mad. I can't even. It was so complex and out there that I couldn't explain it properly. But it was one of the smartest things. I remember reading it and going, "How the fuck did he do that? Like that's crazy." Like I think people forget that. Like just because he's in, like, you know, he mentors people now, and I think he's a non-exec of loads of different bigger brands and companies and stuff, that he didn't do it like. $500 million, mate, in the 70s.
I know.
That must be worth more than $2 billion, surely.
Probably, most likely.
Aye, that's
but
mad.
you know, so it's just crazy to think what the guy's achieved. I mean, talk about, you know, manifesting your goals and dreams. He wanted to own a castle.
Is it true that he doesn't have a driving licence? I get told, because I've seen the photos outside his house. I've never met him, obviously. You've spent time with him. But he's got like the Ferrari, the Lambo, like it's almost like a lineup outside his house. I got told he's got all those cars, but he doesn't have a UK driving licence. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I got told.
Well, he's been chauffeured since he's mid-30s.
So he has all those supercars, doesn't drive them?
No.
They're like ornaments? Or
Some of the supercars is his wife's, yeah.
She young?
Sally, I mean...
Younger than him?
She's younger than him. She's great. Like honestly, got to spend enough time with her as well. And at the Castle Seminar, she's great. The two of them are a great couple for sure. And he is very unique and different. You know, he's bold.
Big guys, well, people,
and that's
people
the
always
thing.
say in videos, "Oh, who do I let this small old man?" Mate, he's like built like an NFL linebacker, mate.
is
He's like
a big
6'3", 110 kilo. I mean, seen a photo of him in a kilt, and I was like, "Yo, he's massive, man."
I am tiny standing next to him. There's a picture of me and him, and I'm like, oh my god.
He's like thick, you know that way. He's like a do you know that thick guy, man?
Here's the thing with Pena, right? He's the only person, and I've met some unbelievable people in my life, right? he's the only person that I felt the presence enter into a room, like actually
Oh,
felt
like
it.
he walks in, it's silent. Everybody's like,
So here's the story. This is crazy, right? So first night at the Castle Seminar. So we arrive, and you arrive there, and then you go to your room, and you need
are
to
you
dress
sharing
for the
rooms with
occasion.
people? Do you have, is it like private rooms?
Well, you're in Guthrie Castle, so it's like Guthrie Castle has a whole bunch of rooms as
I'd
it is
imagine
anyway,
so,
you
aye.
know. So we've got a cracking little suite and everything else there, and so we walk down to the evening. You're starting to meet all the other.
Business people. Is it all entrepreneurs that go?
Oh, okay. So it's slightly different just now because Pena's. So I went to the Castle Seminar before Pena became a lot.
Full London Real and
Before
stuff.
London Real and
Yeah.
everything else, you know. In fact, the Castle Seminar before mine was the one that Brian Rose at London Real attended. You know, so
so he went to that.
he went to the
I
one
thought you just
prior to
interviewed
me.
him. Why did I say
and then-
interview? Did you hear that? I thought he interviewed him. I said it really weird.
Yeah, but he did.
Fucking odd.
And so anyway, so went along there, and the other delegates there were great because I went there being complacent in life and business, knowing that I wanted more, and I went there hoping to get some answers. I didn't really go there to learn more about M&A and buying businesses and all of that kind of stuff because
It was
that's
an
kind of
awakening, probably. You
no.
were
It was
looking
just
for.
I just thought I need to go and get a little bit of a shake up and see
Kick
what's
up the
possible.
arse.
And I went there, and the first thing is with a whole bunch of the people there is that I realised shit. I think or thought I was a somebody, yet being in a room with other people who had far much more success, had achieved way more in business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, there was one guy in there who was one of the first people to get on the whole Virgin Galactic space travel. You know, when they first
fuck.
did it for certain people.
Oh,
Anyway,
he
like-
was like one of the passengers.
yeah, no,
Like one of the first
So
passengers to
so
go?
he's not yet gone, but
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
Mate, you need to be like a mega for that.
Exactly,
Like mega.
exactly. You know, and no, listen, there was super successful people in that
What?
room, unbelievable. You know, so for me, I realised quite quickly, shit. Okay, there's levels to this business and entrepreneurship and everything else. And I remember the first night, so we're all sitting down there, we're all getting a few drinks, and you know, and we're all having a proper conversation. And then my back was where the kind of staircase that comes into the kind of drawing room that we're all at. My back was at the, you know, against this staircase, and we're all sitting there chatting. And it was like almost instantaneous. He was obviously walking down with his wife Sally, and then vroom, everybody
just gone.
having proper conversation, laughing, having a conversation. It just went whoosh, silence.
Let me ask, had you seen him physically at this point yet?
Not yet.
So you've just been, the staff have like received you into the house.
Yeah.
You've went, dropped your
This is
shit,
your- this is
got
your
ready,
first,
you're
yeah.
down having a drink or
Yeah.
whatever, just sitting there. So you've not even physically seen the guy yet.
So part of me knew that we were going to be seeing him that evening.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you realise how big he was? Like physically, before you went?
No. Because it's a misconception when you look at him
look
online or you
small.
see anything else.
Does look
It
small.
does not look like how he truly actually is. So I remember kind of just turning around as the room went silent and saw him walking down. And you know how the way he dresses, right? He's got his whole, you know, pocket clock. He's got his you know, his whole three-piece suit and everything else. You know, like it's just looks $1 million. Like you can tell, and he commands that. And as soon as he walks in, the room was so silent, and he walks up, and then instantly he just starts to offend everybody in the room. You know, like just throwing all sorts of kind of comments. And the first thing, and I'm wearing a suit that cost me $2,000, right?
So where'd you get, you get it from Glasgow?
I got it from New York actually. So when I was over there, so I had a few nice suits there because again, you're
I've got
having
like
to
two
look
and I
the-
never wear them.
I know, like I don't wear suits these days either.
Yeah.
But back then, like going there, you had to really look the part. And so I thought I was looking the part, thought it was somebody and everything else. And everyone else is dressing super smart, like for sure. And then his first kind of comment is come in and he's looking around, staring at people, looking at in the eyes. And he just goes like that. Yeah, I can smell the poverty in here. And I'm looking at him going, fucking hell. It's a bit fucking crazy to state that because, again, super successful people in there. And I was, you know, making a lot of money at the time as well. But
How much do you
there's
think you were making like a year at that point? Like just so I can
yeah,
understand.
our business was doing just under 2 million a year,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're still making money,
Uh-huh.
you know. So, but again, there's levels to it. It's just crazy. So we're still making money. We're still got my portfolio, still involved in some things, but super complacent, right? At the time, so still got a 7-figure income, which I thought at the time was a big deal. Clearly, to someone like him, like you struggling, you need
Do you want me to send you some money?
you
A
know.
light couple million to get you through the winter months.
So it was just nuts. And then that caught, I could smell the poverty in here. And then certain people would pipe up and say certain things, and just a kind of question, he would just like slap people down. And then we all have to go for dinner. So we're all sitting down for dinner.
And the castle.
Yeah. And he's so we're just sitting down having dinner, and it was you could hear a pin drop. And he would awkwardly look around and see people, and because he's profiled everybody before you go there, he knows everyone that's there.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got the picture of you and everything else. And
I guess it's like an application process.
yeah. And then he would just throw certain things out. And he'd be like, "Oh, there's a Scot in here. Where's a Scot?" And I'd be like, "Oh, here." He'd just look over, just staring. And then I stupidly asked a question about the Scottish referendum back then to take his viewpoint. I think I was just trying to have conversation, because for me it was...
Did you really give a fuck about the question?
I really did not give a fuck. But you know what? Wait, it was so awkward in the room of silence. You could hear clattering of forks and knives and everything else. And it was just awkward. And I'm like, well, I'm going to just actually try and talk. Oh my God, I got slaughtered for that. It was unbelievable. So the good thing is that as the days go on though, like you can't have people shut up at when they're going for dinner, because you go for dinner every night together. You have to be sharp for it. You had to meet down there at certain times. Everything was regimented. Everything in terms of the time
like
that it
going to the army,
starts.
innit? Like,
Yeah,
it's
because his background of being in the army and things.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
shit, I didn't know that.
So it starts, breakfast served at a certain time. Everything runs on point, whether someone's in the room or not. Every break, you name it, the evening meals. And it was long shifts, because even though after the evening meal, and as the days go on, he starts to really brutally put people down for not drinking enough, right? I mean, he's just trying to push the boundaries and everything. And
It's a control thing, isn't it?
it's a control thing, yeah. The guy's fucking mental. But then once you're finished for the evening meals, you need to then go and watch a video as a group, because it's stuff we're going to be talking about the next day
Okay.
and everything else. It was long days. And I remember going back to a room at the end, and it was me and there was a guy from Miami, Yas his name was, who owns care homes. Nice. There was this other guy who was a software developer, made a lot of money doing that. And Yas was just going, "Who the fuck is this man? I'm telling you, if he speaks to me like this, I'll slap him." Like, it was proper, like...
That would be me.
Like,
then
oh,
I would
yeah.
go to do it and I would shite myself.
I know, and nobody even piped up when they were in the room together with him. But when I got to my room just before I was getting in, I was sitting chatting away to the guys, and like, "Okay, I'll catch you tomorrow." And I go in, I'm sitting there thinking, what have I even accomplished in life? Like, I felt so low, and also thought, why am I here to sit and take that type of
Get bullied off some
abuse?
old guy.
You know, so I'm sitting guessing myself. I'm going, well, let's see how day one actually goes. So I remember turning up for the start of the event or the seminar, and some of his stories are so freaking wild, because he's had such a
Storied life.
storied life. You know, it's nuts from the things he's achieved, accomplished. And remember, he made a lot of money and had a lot of success in business when it was real, in an industry that's got, like, he had to drive about in a bulletproof limousines and everything else.
What?
because of threats, of death threats, you name it. Just because the industry is involved in the oil and gas and different places had to travel. It was just nuts listening to all his stories. And you realise that for him, and the point that he's trying to get across, is that whatever you think is a big goal, it's absolutely nothing. And we place more meaning to it than anyone else. And it's one of the things I left of it is to think a bigger, more importantly, which then led me to do and get involved in bigger things after that. But also when it comes around to making decisions, like, we all think that we're making life or death decisions on a daily basis, yet they're so insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
As soon as you go over yourself and realise that what's the worst can happen with the decisions that you make, You just live by it and learn from it. But most people don't move ahead in life or take action because they're overanalyzing things or wondering, like, what if this happens? What if other people think about me? If I do this here, this could happen here. What if I fail at this? It's all this what ifs and panicking and just making a simple decision a lot bigger than it actually needs to
Have
be.
you ever seen that old like marble statue from like ancient Greece, and it's like the thinker? It's very famous. It's the guy like leaning on his elbow,
Yeah.
like this. You know the statue I'm
I know
talking
what
about,
you're
right?
talking about.
There's a great cartoon, and it's the thinker, and he's sitting like this, and then there's the same statue again, and it's him like broken up stepping, and it's the doer. It's like to philosophize stuff and think about stuff all the time and calculate stuff all the time, you'll never actually get any progress. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you're constantly sitting thinking, what's the upside, what's the downside, what's this, what's the that, like, there's always a reason that can try and justify you putting something off. Oh, I don't want to do this because Brexit, or I don't want to do this because Scottish independence referendum, I don't want to do this because COVID, I don't want to do this because swine flu. Like, there's something you can, war in Ukraine, like, you can tap into anything to
Yeah.
excuse your lack of action.
Well, in the whole conversation we're having here about what is entrepreneurship, well, think about it. You'll know if you're an entrepreneur if shit hits the fan. Look at everything that happened over the last few years with multiple different lockdowns and you name it, right? Global health crisis, you name it. So with all of that there and everything that's happening, entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, they didn't turn around and go, oh, business is fucked, can't do anything, maybe I just need to, retract into my shell, maybe I should just, live within my means. No, an entrepreneur's like, shit, there's opportunity here, what do we need to do? How do we need to pivot? How do we need to be more aggressive? It's about stepping up and getting shit done when you need to. And this is the reality of building a business, is that, I've been very fortunate that I've gone through like a full cycle in terms of getting involved in business, especially in property, pre a 2008 recession, and seeing the market there being explosive and everything in terms of massive economic growth, property prices going through the roof, then living through a recession in the challenging times. And I always joke about that I was already poor prior to 2008. So when the recession hit, I was like, welcome to my fucking world, right? So for me, I never knew that it was going to be a lot of hardship for a lot of people because it was already hardship for me. But working through the recession and then starting to see the market correct itself and seeing different cycles or different seasons of a business. Like during an explosive phase of economic growth, anybody can make money because people are spending. People are out there actively getting access to money. Think about it. Everybody's positive about things. People want to go on more holidays. People want to upgrade their lives. It's just nuts how easy it is to make money. So being an entrepreneur during an explosive phase of an economy growing is the easiest place and easiest time to make money. When the economy starts to contract, where people are starting to spend less, now it's more difficult. And that's where it's going to make or break an entrepreneur. That's where you're going to really earn your stripes and learn about, can you weather these storms, these economic climate changes that happen? So, you've got to ride different waves. And this is why during the real downturn, I'm not talking about 2008 when we're into a global recession. I'm talking about 2009, 10, 11, where it was a hard grind, right? Really difficult. And through those times, you had to grind, you had to work hard to really keep your business going and to build something. And it's through all of that there, you learn work ethic, you learn discipline, you learn, how to keep your business going. And my biggest regret through all of that is that when I started to make a lot of money, I became complacent. It's going back to the same full circle I'm talking about here, became complacent. I didn't go as aggressive as I should have by buying up more properties. So I look back with an element of regret, although I don't want to live with regret.
Of course not.
Why was I not more aggressive? Why did I not buy more properties? Why did I not drive more? Why did I not work as hard as I did to build the business? Because I thought it was never going to end. I hadn't been through various cycles of growth and up, when the market's going up, the market's going down.
Positivity's the worst drug, mate.
Yeah.
Like it's a great thing to have when everything's going amazing, everything's going amazing. I think one of the industries that we can look at from the outside looking in and knowing people who are involved in it is like cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Like how high was everyone on cryptocurrency and NFTs and this and that just a few short months ago? And like this crypto winter's turned into like a crypto fucking ice age. Like when the market was going, everyone could make money. Like I knew people who were like full-time crypto investors or whatever after like 5 minutes, which is cool. Like people get different degrees of success in different periods of time, and a lot of them now, I mean, they're not even on social media anymore. Like they've went into hiding.
The reality is that most people, let's look at crypto as an example. My personal experience with crypto, I remember when Bitcoin in the last kind of bull run, it went to like, probably messing this up, like maybe $19,000 or something like that, there or thereabouts. And I remember all the kind of crypto hype back then. And I'm sure there was other hype previous to that as well. And I remember feeling a bit like, oh, I need to get in this action, right? So I remember putting 10 grand, buying 10 grand of crypto, just Bitcoin. And I had no idea of altcoins. You know that way? I'm like, altcoins, what's that? It's all bullshit, whatever.
Just buy the big one.
Just
like,
buy the big one. But I bought literally a couple of days before it crashed. It went from, it was like $17,000, $18,000, $19,000 thereabouts. And I kind of bought a couple of days. And through sheer inexperience and through absolute FOMO of everybody else getting involved in doing it, and I thought I'm missing this
train. This is the next big digital revolution or whatever the fuck people.
Because I remember, I was around a bunch of people and they're all talking about it, but they were all ill informed as well. And this is the problem when it comes to being a speculator or an intelligent investor. That was sheer speculation. It was the idea of it was always going to keep on going up. So I ended up buying 10 grand of Bitcoin. And then my Bitcoin went down. I can't remember exactly where it went down, but it came down to maybe I was about 3.7, 4 grand, right? It went all the way down. And I sold it. Because in my mind, I thought, nah, this is going to go to zero. Because that's what the mainstream narrative of the media is that you're going to lose all your money. And I thought, well, I might as well cut my losses. Lost a bunch of cash here, but it's better than having zero. And then look what happened there with the crypto hit in its last bull run.
Bitcoin was like $60,000 or something around that.
Something like that, maybe a bit more. Just think about it. If I kept it, and this is a problem that all the buzz that was happening just there, that so many people that were buying, and this is something for a lesson to learn for so many people, is the time to be buying any assets, whether it's property, whether it's crypto, is really when the market is getting out. When the retail investors are already selling up,
panicked and
shit. So it's always a good opportunity. But when you understand investing though, as an intelligent investor and look at the fundamentals, you can always buy at any kind of cycle when you know when to get in, the right position, when to sell. And unfortunately, so many people, and this goes against being an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not necessarily looking for a quick fix, overnight success, because they understand in order to level up and be successful in business and to build something that's going to last, a long time, have got longevity, there's no quick fix to get that. They need to go through the cycles, need to learn this stuff. And I'm not saying that, because I'm sure there's plenty of people watching this or listening who, and I have been there in my earlier days, just bouncing into different things, trying to make money, because when you need money and you're looking for a quick fix, you're looking for something that's going to happen overnight. I've been in this game long enough. I've been weathered through to realise there's no such thing.
Nah.
You might have a moment, some people did buy in crypto and they sold out and they're like, shit, I made a lot of money. But there's equally way more stories of people who bought in too late and have lost money and been in the same situation that I did with my first purchase of Bitcoin and selling it. Now, I've got a lot of crypto. Like at one point I was sending you a message saying, look, I'm a fucking crypto millionaire.
Yeah, I remember that. You had over £1 million of crypto. That was funny.
And by the way, and like I know fuck all about crypto, yet I probably know 99% more than anyone else.
£999,999 worth of it, but whatever.
And by the way, it's not over 7 figures right now, So, and for what I put in, which was a couple of $100,000 and various different things, went way over. And you might
your buy was like 250 or something.
Yeah. So you could turn around, and by the way, that's money I was prepared to lose. Like for me, when I invest in something that I've got no knowledge of other than basic research and looking at it, for me it was like, fuck it, I'll put some money in and see where it goes. And again, when I bought some altcoins, I own a small amount of Bitcoin in the grand scheme of things, maybe about 20 grand or something like that. But the rest of the altcoins that I've got, it was sheer on the fundamentals of it, the coins behind it,
and utility and all that shit.
Yeah, and in my head it was like, yeah, I'm prepared to hold this long term. I'm not going to try and do this day trading stuff. I tried that one time and it lasted a very short period of time. I remember getting liquidated for about fucking just under 40 grand.
Mate, the infamous school run.
The school run. For anyone who's watching, this is a fucking laugh, right?
Mate, I remember that.
So somebody said to Paul, have you ever looked at futures and trading? I wonder who that was.
No, wait a second. Let me pre-frame this, right? Me and my mate had been bored, right? And it was during the lockdown, wasn't it? Like was it during the lockdown?
Yeah, because
you were dropping the girls to nursery. Nursery just opened back up or something.
It seems like something like that was happening.
It was so long ago. It was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. So basically, me and one of my mates have been bored, and we were like just buying and selling futures contracts on crypto. We were making like a couple of grand every like couple of days, just messing about, right? We hadn't put a huge amount of money in it, and we were just high on positivity. We were getting good results for catch and stuff, right? And I said to you, I was like, mate, this is some laugh. Like, you should do it. I'll add you in a group chat, right? The problem with that was it consumes you. Like, that stuff consumes you.
That was the thing that I didn't like.
You're just like, you want to check your phone every 2 seconds, right? So obviously, me and Chris had maybe put like, I don't know, 5-6 grand or something into this, right? Like, it wasn't like a huge amount of money. We're just buying and selling, and it's a laugh. It's almost like, do you know what I likened it to? See, when everyone at lunchtime on building sites, I never used to do it, but they'd go to the bookies and put a couple of horses on whilst they were getting the roll, and they'd watch and see. That's what it was like for me. It was like a laugh just to see what would happen, something to talk about, right? Because COVID's happening, the world's so fucking boring, right? And you come in and just boss a fucking ludicrous amount, like
Mate,
some stupid amount.
I honestly, I look back and I go, what a fucking stupid arsehole. But for me, it was like, why not? I'll just try it. So I remember, like, I had the ultimate beginners.
USDT XRP or something like that.
Mate, I don't know. I was just buying random things. Mate, I convinced myself after a couple of days that I could read charts.
You were messaging me, yeah, I've got the hang of this and all that. You were like proper loving it.
Honestly,
mate.
like I honestly thought I had that kind of beginner's luck where my first few
27
trades.
grand in like the first day or something like that.
The
first couple, it was like 27 grand. I remember that being
Yeah,
a number.
I need to look back and look at it, but I remember being up significantly. Now the funny thing is, right, because I remember messaging you, like I had a few positions live, and if I cashed out before I went on the school run, if I cashed out, I think I would have been up. My position would have been up 10 grand. I remember I looking at it, and I messaged you, and I think I said to you something, think I should cash out or what? And I think you just said, I said yes.
Mate. But you were a professional reading the charts after your 4 days experience.
I'm 1 weekend, of course. Like
the crypto millionaire at this point.
Oh, it's so laughable watching or thinking back. But anyway, so I remember going to school run, and then I get this text message from Binance going, your position's about to be liquidated. And I'm like, that's weird. Never heard that before. It's kind of weird. And then I think I took a screenshot and sent you. What does that mean? You says, no, I think your position's just about to be liquidated.
Like, you need to act now. I remember saying to you, like, mate, put more money or like do something.
But to me, I wasn't comprehending it because I left. This all happened within literally
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. And then I came back, sat down, looked at it and went, my account's been liquidated, which was sitting about 40 grand in it. Gone.
And we were running like, what was it, like 75x leverage or something? Like something ridiculous. Because it was, mate, it was basically gambling.
So after that, I think I did do some extra trades or whatever. And the thing that stopped me from doing it altogether, or just stopping, but simultaneously I own a whole bunch of different altcoins just to hold.
Aye.
I just thought I'm going to try this out and stuff like that. And I mean, I hate being wasteful of money because it's disrespectful, especially not having come from money.
Mate, see when you lost that, even though I'd said to you, like, you should sell that. I mean, what the fuck do I know, right? But I'm just saying, mate, if that was me, like, I would sell that and get it done. Like, see when those positions were liquidated, no joke, I've never said this before, right? I thought that was going to be the end of our friendship.
Really?
I was like, nah, Paul's going to be raging at me because I told you, like, get out of that. That's mad, mate. You've done some crazy shit there, right? But, like, obviously I forget. And even then, like because my last 4 years have been wild, mate. Like in terms of money, like, it's just been so crazy. The acceleration been so fast. Yours has been you've not yo-yoed, but it's been over a longer period of time, and that's why I was able to do it faster, because I was piggybacking the shit that you'd got wrong, if that made sense, not having to learn those lessons myself. And I was thinking, like, even now, if one of my mates said go and do something right, and I invested in it and it went wrong, it'd be whatever, it's my choice. But then I was thinking, if someone made me lose 40 grand, I would like punch utter fuck out of them. Like, I'd be raging. And I was thinking, Paul's lost 40 grand. Yes, I told him to sell it, but I said to him, mate, we're doing these wee daft things. Why don't you come and do it? And I was thinking, nah, he's going to fall out with me. And I think we were on PlayStation that night, like playing COD. Mate, I don't think I could speak. I was like, so...
I think I was roasting myself.
How's the weather in Glen Eagles? Like, mate, I didn't even speak about that day for like 6 months. Because I was like, he fucking hates me. Like, I shat myself, mate. I was like, yep. Young Entrepreneur Society's never going to exist now. I'm fucked. Like, me and Paul are not mates anymore.
I mean, for me, it was first and foremost, I take 100% responsibility of the good and the bad and the ugly that happens in my life. Now, I'm not saying that the Paul McFadden today, or even back then, like if you go back to my late teens, early 20s, I was a victim. I would blame people. I'd blame the economy. I would be, always looking for an out that wasn't my responsibility.
Aye.
And it wasn't until getting a few mentors around me that says, look, it's your choices. No one forced you to do it. No one held a gun at your head. If you don't like the results you're getting just now, well, fucking, it's your responsibility to change it.
Some shit, aye, 100%.
And so that's always been ingrained in me for anything that I fail at, if you want to call it a failure, or anything I go in and mess up. For me, it's like, well, that there was a lesson learned for me, So what I learned through all of that is that I did not have the capacity nor the time that I could even commit to try and figure out different trades and looking at all sorts of different graphs and everything else. And it was just consuming. And I had a healthy, unhealthy relationship with time during my small period of doing that. I thought, nah, I'm the guy of just buying some coins, leaving it, see what happens,
Of course. You don't want something that you have to put like attention to every day. Because since that period, well, mate, it was we probably done that for like 2 weeks.
It was such a short period of time.
Since that, I've never done any of those. I actually sold all my crypto, minus one called Walton Chain that I've owned for years, that is so down that I just will not sell it. Do you get what I mean? It's down like 99% or something. Like, it's so fucked. But I've just never sold it. Like, every other crypto that I had, I got rid of.
Yeah. So I've got I mean, my whole position's probably sitting about slightly above what I bought in, which is crazy because it was over 7 figures at one point. But for me, it's like, and some people turn and say, but look what you've lost. But I'm like, I was prepared to have it go right down. What I don't like about crypto is it is extremely volatile. And I don't like how it catches so many people out.
Yeah.
And just to recap, like, I was prepared to lose any of that money. It's like, once you start acting like an intelligent investor, then it's slightly different because you're doing your due diligence. You don't go and rush into buying shares in a company without looking at, is it overvalued? What's the fundamentals? Does it have, if in terms of what it's got on its balance sheet, you know?
I made 67% during the first lockdown on independent UK oil companies, on Trading 212, not even on like Trading 212 is a very basic platform, right? But it was Tullow Oil, Premier Oil, which is Premier and someone else merged now called Chrysler, I believe. And I made 67% on them because I phoned my accountant and I was like, can you show me how I can like read these like financial documents? Because even on Train 212 you can click and they'll give you very basic stuff like, is the profit up on last year, is the turnover up or down, like gives you that stuff. But I was like, I actually want to go on and get these documents and read them so that I can make an informed decision. Now, when I say I made 67%, I maybe put five grand in. Like, it was an okay wee, oh nice, I got that right and it was cool. But with any type of investment, we see it in property all the time. Like, one of my mates was like, oh yeah, I bought like a buy to let, but it was just ready to go as if that's a benefit. Like, I want something that's not ready to go. Do you get what I mean? I want something that's like, I want to, if someone's going to add the value and benefit from adding the value, it's going to be me. And he was like, no, I've bought this one. And I was like, okay, how much you pay for it? I had a home report at 110. I only had to pay 125 for it. And I'm like, in the face of the market, okay, that's better than maybe some of the homeowners out there. And I was like, all right, and how much you getting? I'm getting like £700 a month. And I'm just like, but I didn't have to pay for a refurb. I was like, mate, you paid 15 grand over for it. Like, But it's just this, when people are ill-informed.
See what you just said there? Like, think about it when it comes to, if you're going to go and buy a property, this is for a lot of people who are just about to buy their first home to live in. And the way the market's been, people paying 10, 15, 20% over. So if they're going to buy a 100k property and they go 20% over to get it, that's 20 grand more. You try to tell me that you're not better using that 20 grand to go and invest in your education to understand property and understand how to find the deals and everything else.
I mean, do you know what?
It's just crazy how people, look at things. It really
Mate,
is.
it's so funny, right, that you say that, because take an educational program, right, that could cost maybe £3,000, £4,000, £5,000, right? Now, at the face of paying that to some people, that might be like, oh, especially if like we get uni free in Scotland, so maybe people are detached from actually paying for education, right? But let's say that you're just an average person looking to buy a home. You don't have an interest in having a property business. Now, so many people say that to me and then sit down for half an hour with me and change like that, right? And go, oh, really? I can do this and I can do that. But let's say in the face of it, they have no interest in that. They're only interested in buying their own home. And last time I checked, the average person who is a homeowner owns 3 homes in their lifetime, right? So that's 3 different transactions across your life that you're going to be buying probably on the market, competing with other people, a normal transaction, right? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to pay over home report for over valuation for the property that you want. Now, let's say that you go in your 20s and you go and spend £5,000 to understand how to buy property as if you're buying like an investor. Because if you're buying your own home, you should still be buying it like an investor. You should still be looking to get instant equity day one. Like if you buy a 100 grand house for 90 grand, it's still worth 100 grand. You've got 10 grand of protection in there. Even if you're not interested in refinancing, making money, market goes down 10%, okay. You're bang on the money, you're still break even, it goes down 20%. Everyone else who was buying 20% over's fucked now. You're just down a couple of grand, like it's nothing. And if you go and you spend that money on that program to understand how to buy like an investor, and all you do is buy those 3 homes in your life, and you buy the 100 grand house at 100 grand the first time, but you didn't get caught out paying over, that's it, that's a victory. The next time you're looking at you've got a bigger family now, you're looking for the 225 grand house, and you find one and you do a little bit of a negotiation with the skills you learned before and you get it for 205. You've paid for that bit of education 4 or 5 times over.
Yeah.
In one go. That's what I try and say to people. And it's the same way I talk about not justifying now because I don't have to, but back in my early days of doing property deal trading and taking fees off people to buy houses, and people going, oh, but why would I give you £3,000, £4,000 in fees when I can just go on the market and buy something? I'm like, if you can go on the market and buy something at the same price I can get you, like I will literally do a backflip off the fucking Erskine Bridge. Like it won't happen because you're going to go and your victory is getting the 100 grand house at 110. That's your victory. My victory is getting you the 100 grand house at 90.
Yeah.
And then you don't care about the £3,000, £4,000 you say, because guess what? People go, oh, but you only saved me 5 grand. I didn't only save you 5 grand. I saved you 15 because you were going to pay 110 anyway. So that 10 grand, I fucking saved you straight away just by signing on the dotted line. Like, people's perception of value is so fucking strange, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
it takes a lot of life lessons for people to actually realise that. Like, they can probably comprehend that from a logical point of view, but see until they go and fucking fuck up themselves, it's life lessons can be incredibly humbling. And I don't think you have to go through that process. You mentioned earlier on that you're further ahead in your journey compared to what it took me. Like, from when I get started in business and property, it took me a significantly longer term than most of the people that come through our programs, because they're learning from my mistakes and a roadmap that we can at least map out for people to follow.
Aye.
But even at that, you've probably still made some mistakes, right? It's still lessons learned as you go along.
You need to take some lumps, but they've not been ones that they're far less like major.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
It's just simple
the financial
challenges.
value of them has been less. The mental strain has been less. Because see, having that, like, if you're in a tough negotiation, I still do it now. Like, I will never, because like I've said in like previous episodes and stuff, you don't complete entrepreneurship the same way you don't complete property. There's going to be changes in regulation. There's going to be different things. There is always going to be situations that you maybe haven't seen before. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say now, because I'm 4 years down the line in my journey, I've made over £1 million through property. I've got my dream life at this point, which I am looking to make bigger and do more. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, well, I don't ask you questions now. I still ask fucking questions. If I have something sitting there, I'm like, shit, I've never seen this before. I'm not too proud to go, oh, I'm just going to go and deal with it myself. Like, what's the point? I'm not there to try and learn. I don't want to learn the hard lesson if I don't have to. There's this weird, like, misconception with business, because the stories worth telling or the stories worth hearing a lot of the time have some type of tragedy during it, right? Because those excite people to listen to. I was a millionaire and I lost everything and I was homeless and then I made it back. Those are the type of stories that people want to hear. So people think that that is the only way to find success. People say to me like, oh, have you had a big setback? I'm like, no. Oh, well, when that happens, I'm like, whoa. What do you mean when? Like, if, maybe. Like, you don't have to go through a tragedy or a period of like going bankrupt. You don't have to go through that to be successful. I think that's a massive misconception.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. Like, if you think about entrepreneurship, right? And if you think about how entrepreneurs make their money, they bring some sort of value, right? Whether they create a product, whether they create a service, or just basic cash flow 101, you're able to buy something at a cheaper price and sell it for more. And if we're talking about crypto and everything else, and especially when it's been incredibly volatile, it just takes a tweet, it just takes some sort of thing to hit the media and the news to shake a price
Elon Musk
Musk
write some shite on Twitter, prick.
I'm going to buy Twitter. Twitter goes up. I'm not going to buy Twitter. It goes back down.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
That's like market manipulation, by the way.
I know, and they can get away with it, which
He'll
is
be telling
just
his
wild.
mates, by the way. Like, because, by the way, I'm saying this because I would do it. Does that make sense? Like, if I was Elon Musk, I would text, like, you, Antonio, Steve, like, all my mates. I'd be like, guys, I'm just about to rain on Twitter's parade. I'm going to tweet some mad shit. Like, that's what you would fucking do. Like, I mean, I would anyway.
It's mad that he's got that much power, and that worries me with certain things. And here's the thing: when you're investing in crypto, when someone doesn't know if they're buying at the top, someone doesn't know if they're buying at the bottom. So with their buying, in their mind, they must think at some level that it's going to keep on going up in price. They're going to make more money. But for me, the intelligent investor is, well, here's the value of the thing I'm about to buy, whether it's a property, whether it's a, some sort of product that you're going to go and sell.
Value proposition day one.
Yeah, what can I get that at wholesale to sell it at retail? Can I buy that property that's worth 100 for less? Even better, can I add value to that property? Can I add value to this product that I'm going to purchase to put other kind of things bolted onto it to increase the value proposition to sell? That's what we need to be thinking about entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Like an entrepreneur's not trying to jump into quick fixes. Mm-hmm. For me, when I put money into crypto, it was sheerly out of, I've got spare chunk of change here, let me just throw something in out of curiosity.
250 grand, chunk of change. Chunk of change, guys. 250 grand. I think he's a prick as well. Just so you know, he's a fucking prick. But keep going.
But do you know what I mean? It's like
it's relative to your fucking position as well, mate. Like,
so the point is that for me, because hey, we're talking about young entrepreneurs here, right? And I don't want them to make the mistakes where a setback, like, could really affect you a little bit and put you in a situation where you've got a bit of financial stress. It kind of knocks your confidence and stuff. So you should be careful when you get into more volatile things. Like, I'm sure people make money trading stuff online, stock shares, you name it. Of course they do. But they can't escape the volatility. I don't know one single trader who's got a 100% track record.
Oh, of course, like, of course not. And do you know the thing that's the scariest about crypto as well, right, is the power of, especially over the last 12 months, of influencers in crypto, right? So see, like, young people, you're saying they're making these mistakes. Like, take me, for example. One of my favourite clothing brands is Margiela, Maison Margiela. Now, why do I like, and I will admit that this is hilarious and so stupid, why do I like Margiela? Because the first times I seen it, my favourite rappers were wearing it. And I went, shit, that looks cool. I didn't see it on someone in the street. I seen it on people that I follow who influenced me to make that purchase, right? Now we're seeing, Kim Kardashian got done in a lawsuit last week. She had to pay all sorts of damages for promoting that Safe Moon or whatever the fuck it was called. Yeah. You know that one that was a big scam? Yeah. The guy John Caroni or something, right? The Safe Moon thing, Jake Paul is having to pay damages for that. MoonPay, which was Post Malone had it in one of his music videos. Like they pan behind him and he's on his phone paying someone through MoonPay.
I love how they make it so subtle, as if they're not advertising and
Mate,
marketing, you know?
Lil Baby just released a new album a couple of days ago, right? You won't listen to that because you listen to the fucking Beatles or whatever, right? So he released an album the other day and I was listening to it yesterday and he mentioned MoonPay in the album. Now, I don't know if it's one of his older singles that's maybe been out for like a year and he's stuck on the new album, but like these small things they do and like these online giveaways. Remember I done the Mad Floyd Mayweather giveaway thing to test if it worked and done the YouTube video on it and it was a load of shite. Like people are so influenced by these decisions and like young people are like piling like everything they can into, I mean, dog shit cryptocurrencies. Like at least when you look at I don't really care about crypto now. I've detached myself from it, right? But you look at your XRPs and your Bitcoins and blah, 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 blah. There is use cases for those different things. But people, like, mate, there was a crypto called Cum Rocket. You know that?
For fuck's sake.
Cum Rocket, mate. And people are buying it because it's the greater fool theory.
It's like that one when Squid Games came out, the TV program on Netflix, thought was pretty cool. They even had Squid Coin or something like that.
And they had to put out that it wasn't affiliated with a thing.
Yeah, because it went crazy, it blew up, and then literally overnight, it just disappeared with all the
Top
money.
G Coin, Andrew Tate.
Oh, fuck's sake.
See, that wasn't him, though. Like, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, I would
That's like
think he would do that.
Elon's got a coin. It's nothing to do with him.
Mate, there's one that's like something to do with him. No, mate, do you know what the funniest one was? Conor McGregor had like one of those Bourbell Mastiffs, you know, South African massive big fucking dogs called like fucking Magnus or some stupid name, and people made a crypto about it. Like, you know, those comments you used to see on Facebook, like it'd be a photo of someone who's really unwell and it'd be like 1 like equals 1 prayer and all that stupid fucking post. Mate, people were posting that like, if you respect Conor McGregor's dead dog, invest in this crypto coin. Like, that's the type of shit Conor McGregor would be doing on his yacht, just sitting laughing like, you daft bastards. But so many of these coins, like, not affiliated.
Those
with
coins are cracker
shit.
as well.
Mate, what was the one
Shibu
that was
or something.
Shiba Inu?
Shiba Inu.
What was the Pokemon one called?
Oh god,
And like,
now you're just
like
taking the piss.
it wasn't actual Pokemon, but it was like a name that was similar to Pokemon. Mate, they were like, oh, it was NFTs, right? And oh, this is going to come out and like wait to see the art, the designs and all that. Mate, they'd went on Fiverr and got someone in the furthest corner of the universe for like 99 cents to draw these things. Like, I could have found a child with no fingers that could have drawn these better.
Who's that guy that is big in the NFT community that bumped into someone and someone said, will you draw me a picture? And he literally drew a stickman. And then
Mate, I can't mind the guy's
and
name.
then that stickman picture ended up fetching millions.
Mate, it's madness.
I forget who it was, but it's crazy.
These are like bored apes and all that that are
Yeah.
like worth all this money. Mate, someone I know, funnily enough, whose name is Paul, also not you. He's a friend of mine, like jiu-jitsu black belt, world champion boxer, like a real good friend of mine. Mate, he has made like mad money off all these NFTs and all that. And I think like when I look at him having done it, like he still has some, he has like bored apes and all that. But I think it's just like get it in and get it out. Do you get what I'm saying? It is the greater fool theory. That is what crypto is to me. It's like a big Ponzi scheme, mate.
so-
Like,
so
I
the-
don't get it, man.
The problem for me with all of this is how and where you make your money is important to me. So I knock back opportunities all the time because it just doesn't fit well for me. Like, I've knocked back opportunities where I know I'm making money, but it doesn't fit well because it doesn't tie in with
Your mission.
yes, for one, or it just needs to feel right. It needs to feel right. I think it's good to be in that position because, you know, a lot of people chase anything to make money, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like if you're getting NFTs that you're buying and selling, you're making money, cool, whatever, you know, get into crypto or whatever. But the fact that people pumping up all these absolute coins that
Jobby
get
coins.
zero utility, there's nothing behind it other than absolute hype. You know, the whole what was that fueled a lot of this? Is it GameStop?
Oh, the AMC GameStop thing.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets.
And that
Wait,
was,
did I do a video on that on YouTube?
but it was crazy. It was all about just trying to, you know, break the whole fucking system.
Mate,
And-
do you remember they were meant to do that XRP pump that day, the Wall Street Bets guys? And on the time that it was meant to pump, XRP dropped like 20% or something.
But do you notice that happens? This is the thing when it comes to the mainstream media. You know, like every time there's a big announcement, like something's going to happen, like institutional money, the big real market makers, they're the ones that start dumping because they know lots of retail are about to start investing in, and that's an opportunity for them to trade
Offload stock,
on the market.
whales just to drop.
Yeah, and if we don't realise that we're being manipulated in such a big way, and that you're either a pawn in that or you can play the game, I mean, fuck me, you've got to be aware. And it goes back to with something that's so volatile, especially in this game of trying to make money. Making money is hard. It takes work to get to the point that you're able to make money. So once you've learned that skill set of making money and you're making it, you don't want to then be in a situation that you go and misuse that money to then get back to ground
Square
zero
one.
again, square one. Because in that situation, like, shit, I need to go through all that again to build it up. So you've got to get your money, making money, get your foundations right to pay for the lifestyle that you want, the cars, the bigger house, the holidays, the trips, the designer gear if you want it,
Yeah.
having a great life, not having to
Prada
worry
trainers.
about, you know.
The Prada trainers, ladies and gents.
So you have the finer things. Now, what you don't want to do is end up risking all of that. There's no need to do that. So it's almost getting yourself in a situation where you've built your wealth, you've did everything, put it in place, then you can start making some speculative investments for fun and see what works out. And
Lose 40
you know,
grand on the school run.
okay, let's not talk about it. But anyway, but it's lessons learned, you know.
Of course.
So to summarise entrepreneurship for this one here, you know, I love your comment there about being dissatisfied. I get it. It's about being in a situation where you've got that hunger, you've got that drive, you know that you're capable of more, you want to solve other people's problems, you know, you're not looking for that quick fix. You're like, how can I bring something to the marketplace that's a desire, a need for it? How can I solve something? How can I not only, you know, put my own, you know, touch on it that's going to make it greater and better? Like for me, it's like that's an entrepreneur. It's someone that can take an opportunity, grab it, and just go for it, and then make it into something. It's
This
amazing.
is the thing, right? Like what you said there. So many young people like say to me, some of like my like students and some people just chatting to me, message me on Instagram, like, oh Richard, how do I come up with an idea? And I stopped and say to them, I said, like, do I do something that I fucking invented? Like, did I create what I do? Like, I don't know about you. Do you think you've ever invented anything?
Yeah, this is
I've,
the thing.
I've never created. I do something that loads of other people do. Do I think I do it better than everyone? I don't know. Do I think I maybe work a bit smarter than a lot of people? Yeah. Have I maybe built a brand that allows me access to more clients? Also, yeah. I'm not going to go and say, oh yeah, nobody else does what I do. Like, it's not. You don't need to go and fucking invent something.
Yeah, it's rare that the person who invents something first is the one that succeeds in whatever it is. It's normally someone else that comes in, an entrepreneur that goes, oh, look at this interesting thing.
I'm going to license it
Yeah,
and rip your fucking eyeballs out.
like I could do a better job in that. I found some flaws behind it. I can improve it and then better it. And that's how, you know, how everything works in life. It's like if complacency kicks in for a business, that business is going out of business. Look at Blockbuster. We spoke about that previously in another podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Kodak, all these companies who have went under. Some of the big companies that have just became complacent because they're stuck in their old ways of doing things, of not being, you know, coming up with times and changing things and
HMV.
getting with it. HMV, another example. I mean, like
Everham's top man.
there is so many examples, and
Yeah.
we need to be careful. And by the way, the funny thing is when you look at that, is the entrepreneur who started all of that is no longer at the helm of it anymore. It's someone else that's coming in. It's a more corporate structure who are not thinking like an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs truly change the world. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Imagine a world without Facebook.
it's crazy
You know what I
to
mean?
even
Mark Zuckerberg.
think.
And he is a right gimp, him as well. Like, he's a proper loser, eh? Like, he is. Like, he's an odd guy. Seen him hitting pads and that recently.
I
My
honestly,
sister would leather him, mate. Seriously, punch his head in.
I think it's brilliant, you know. I mean, I'm still not sure how much I want to pay attention to it, although I have to, because it is the future, the whole metaverse and all of that. I love how he's just claimed it as if it's his and he's the only person that owns it and has made it. It's amazing.
See, before we wrap this up, right? Have you seen, like, people talk about metaverse, like ways to make money in the metaverse, right? You obviously get digital real estate and all that I'm just not on board with, mate. I'm just like, I'll go on Minecraft and build a house. Like, it doesn't bother me, right? I don't know if this is real or not. If you're watching this and you can comment, and let me know if it is real. But like, there's a whole bunch of people who are like, because bear in mind the metaverse is like the real world digitally, right?
Yeah.
So there's no boundaries. People who are like guys are like creating little characters that are girls and like stripping in the metaverse and apparently making dough, mate.
Nah.
Mate, I'm not joking. Where's my phone? My phone's that.
I have
Can I-
lost I have lost faith in the
Wait,
human
one
race.
second, 1 second. Let me go on TikTok, right?
This is what I mean when I go back and talk about earlier on about it's how or where you make your money. Like, if that's what
Mate,
gets them
metaverse
going,
stripping. First thing that comes up.
get to fuck.
Right, look at this. She's kind of. Oh wait, I don't know who this bird is.
That's
Right,
someone doing a, what do you call it?
look. I'd be throwing,
Like,
you know,
like,
stripping them. But it's guys, mate. But imagine you having to do this in the room. Do you get what? Like, imagine you had to do that. I've not got the wherewithal for that, mate. Like, I can't get up and shake my little digital
your B
ass.
in drama is, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, if I was, what was the teacher's name?
Miss Viviorsky.
Oh, I tell you what, you should have got an A for that.
Yeah.
You've got the moves.
So yeah, metaverse stripping is the next big thing.
My God. So for our young entrepreneurs, those that want to learn more about business, life, some real talk and all that good stuff as well, some actionable content that can help them in their journey, we've got all of that inside our Yes Academy.
Yep.
So let's quickly just a little recap, because we are going to be taking our next intake shortly, aren't we?
Yes,
Our
yes.
next wave of entrepreneurs.
So the Yes Academy is the number one tool you can access. I don't care if you're into crypto, property, you want to open a fucking cafe, you want to develop your mindset, you want to be a better version of yourself. I mean, it's not just all about entrepreneurship. I call it the number one place for entrepreneurship and development. Like, that is what it is. If you want to add a couple extra zeros to your income, awesome. If you want to become more confident, you want to be more outgoing, have more passion, more drive for life, find something that you want to succeed in, the Yes Academy is where you want to be. You're not going to find a university course that's going to show you what we show you. You're not going to find a college course. You're probably not going to find a resource out there online that you can find all the stuff that we can provide you with, alongside a community of absolutely driven, hardworking, I would call them fucking savages, mate, to be honest. They just have such a desire to go out there and take what they want from life. And that is what the Yes Academy is all about. We built it for the people who want to make serious money, make change, and go and actually make their lives and dreams a reality. That's what it's all about, man.
Brilliant. Love it. Good stuff. So until the next time, all the best.
And I'll see you in the metaverse.
Oh, brilliant. That was good.